All right. So now we're live.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Hello everyone. Well folks, shall we get started?
Mhm.
'Cause
Yep.
we got it's like less than 1 week to the tournament. We're gonna
Yay.
be playing soon. Maia Open. So basically this might be last training session. Uh Before then, we'll see. We got we got the merch. Everyone's
Yeah.
merched out.
Oh yeah.
Nice. I just saw the hat. The hat looks good. Actually, what kind of hat did you get?
This is a 5 panel, so I was gonna show it to you. Maybe I did it without the chest dojo, but I've got it. I'll show you in Maya, because I got one that's grey
Uh-huh.
with a white stitch as well.
Very cool. Um, nice.
I kind of like a 5 panel hat
Nice.
style, but that's just me.
Sporting the merch. Um, cool. Actually, they should let us play for the club chess dojo because in Europe, you always have to sign up for a club, and I don't have anything to put, so I just write chess dojo, even though it's not an actual club. But they
Hey,
should
well,
they
you
should
know,
let us.
I can get that going. I'm in Europe, kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd be down.
Alrighty, let's get into it. So, today, what I thought would be very helpful for you all would be to tighten up your basic Rook endgames. Make sure you know your fundamentals. And so we're gonna have you guys practice the Philidor defense and then the Lucena win, and make sure you know how to win it. I think with these end games, you basically just have to learn how to do it a couple times with your hand, and then practice it a couple times sporadically, so that you are familiar and you get this like muscle memory of how to play these positions. Because this one, the Philidor, being able to defend this position down a pawn and then being able to win a winning position when you're up a pawn, it's like so many rook end games boil down to like these two, that it's like you really, if you don't know how to play these, then it'll be really tough. It'll be like not knowing how to checkmate with a king and queen. It's like, okay, you win the game, you get an extra queen, and then you can't finish it off. You can't hold like the final end game. So I would say these two are like really, really fundamental. Again, just so many end games boil down to a basic rook and pawn end game. They're more complicated ones, but then they're more rare. Whereas these are going to be really common. And then the ideas in these can be used in like the pawn doesn't have to be on the D file, right? And pawn can be on many different files, and you can still use like the same techniques. So I think it's a good time to practice it like right before the tournament, so that you guys hopefully, if you get it in the tournament, you'll know how to do it, and you'll have the confidence as well that you know how to do it. Because it's one thing to like read it in a book, like in Silman or something, and be like, okay, I understand the bridge technique, blah blah blah. It's another thing to do it when like the clock is ticking and like everyone's watching and there's like a lot of pressure. So um, you really have to be well practiced in knowing how to handle these end games. Because I've seen so many good players fumble these positions because like they just get nervous and they just haven't like practiced it recently, and then they mess it up, which is just not good. Um, so you guys ready?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Well, first let's just like review some basic ideas so that you guys kind of know what you're trying to do here and we're all on the same page. Let me flip it from Black's point of view. And this is just a basic position I came up with. Let me ask you guys here, if it was Black to play, what would you do?
Rook g6.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so that move is fine. Um, it's like textbook move, like Philidor defense, get the rook to the 6th rank. I'm glad you guys said rook g6. That's a good move. Um, and I'm sure that move draws. I I don't understand why you wouldn't play rook e2 check.
Only on the basis that I know that the third rank is really important. That's that was the only reason why I didn't check.
Like once the
Beautiful.
king catches up to it, you have to go back to the sixth rank anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't think it changes a whole lot. It's just an interesting thing to think about. Because for me, actually, rookie two check is just the most logical move in the position. Just checking the king. And so the thing that I like to talk about with these kinds of endgames, and the reason a lot of people mess up is actually it's kind of related to this. It's because you remember a specific like idea or technique, and you try to apply it, but it's more important to like actually understand the position and the different techniques that you might try, right? So it's not like just about bringing the rook to the sixth rank. The rook can also attack from behind. Um, so I'd say it's like really important to understand the ideas in these positions, because during a game, if you just rely on like pattern recognition, you might apply it in like the wrong moment and then lose. Whereas if you just think about the position, you'll probably find the right move, if that makes sense. So I just want to caution you and everyone else in the chat. A lot of players like they they'll blunder by like putting their king in opposition to the other king because they see opposition and they're like, oh, I can play it here. And it's like they get mated on the back rank. It's like completely the wrong moment to do it. It's like, so you have to be very careful. But anyways, so rook g6 totally fine. I think in this concrete position, if it was black to play rook e2 check, would be actually to me like just the most direct way to defend here. Let's give black the move. Let me just make a useless move for white. So let's say rook e2 check. The king kind of steps back to get out of checks. And then let's say, yeah, we just do nothing here. So white's not really threatening to make progress. And as soon as the king kind of steps forward, we can keep giving checks again. Let's say king d4.
Right.
We could, again, just give rook d2 check. Now, you could also hold the position, let's say, like this, and then bring your rook down here, right, as usual. But this one is like, I want to say it's almost like a last resort kind of defense, because a lot of times you can just defend it even before it gets to this this point. But okay, let's say from this position here. Yeah, go ahead.
But just because I was thinking rook a6, when we go rook a2, they have a chance for rook a6.
Oh yeah.
And that just felt
Let's
kind of
say,
annoying to me.
yeah. I think I know what you mean. Let's say I'll go here, and you want to play rook a6 here.
Or even before when the king was on d3, like I suppose I could always get checked from behind anyway.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like this sixth rank defense, third rank defense. It's basically it comes up once white has kind of achieved everything, like rook on a7, king on a5, e5, and so on.
Right.
So if I could just go back to the start here, let's say white played this move and played here, or king e6. Actually, king e6. Let's play. Okay, here the sixth rank defense is critical. If you don't know the sixth rank defense here, you're busted. Here is where like, oh, if you give check from behind, this is how you get in trouble, because now you're gonna get attacked from both sides, and this one is decidedly much harder to now defend. So here is where the sixth rank defense is critical, because this is what kicks white's king out of, let's say, the danger zone where it tries to checkmate you, and then we get kind of like the classic Philidor defense. So once we're here, then of course it's very important to know how to hold from this position. But even before we get here, yeah, I just want to just remind, like, there are different ideas here, and it's not just about just trying to memorize one pattern, but rather really about trying to understand what both sides are hoping to do. White would like to promote the pawn or give checkmate with some kind of construction like this, d6, king e6, and rook on the back rank, and black is basically trying to prevent that. Okay, and so the main mechanism of the Philidor defense, I think you guys already know this, but if white pushes d6, what should black play?
Rook a1.
Rook a1, sorry.
Rook a1, yeah. Basically, you send the rook back. This is now the right moment. Now that the king cannot hide in front of the pawn, and now the rook gives checks from behind, and it's basically pretty straightforward. And otherwise we're just doing what? Let's say rook b7.
Just
Okay.
go the other way.
We just go-
H6.
Rook h6.
Yeah.
Rook, sorry, rook where?
H6.
H6. Yeah, exactly. We just sit. If the opponent sits, then we sit. It's important to know when it's okay to sit, because when you're in a game, you know, your opponent will be kind of going back and forth, trying to like unnerve you, take your time. And this is in general the way you try to convert these endgames, is by just dragging it out, trying one idea on one side of the board, they defend, trying something else, and yeah, really just trying to like maximize the pressure. But if they're sitting, if they're not making progress, then we don't have to do anything. We can just sit on our position. And that's what makes this fortress much easier than others, is that actually a lot of fortresses are easy because like you just sit, go back and forth. You don't really have to do a whole lot here. But yeah, it's very important that you don't try to start giving checks and like trying to do something. Like here, you can just, once you're on the back rank, now you just sit, don't let the king advance. And there's really not like, there's not really many tricks here that white can pull, which is why I'm pretty confident you guys are all gonna be able to hold it against me, because there's not like there's not a whole lot white can do here if black just knows this basic setup. So yeah, we should be able to hold it against anyone in the world. Like even Magnus, like
awesome.
Magnus, like is not, he's amazing, but he's like, he can't bend the rules of physics. Can't change how the pieces move. So I think with 30-second increment, I think you all could confidently hold it against him if you practice it a bit. Okay, shall we try it once?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me figure out how to. Let me think about how we could play multiple games at once. I have an idea. I'm gonna try to set up a challenge, and then I'll just send it to all three of you, and hopefully that'll work.
And then are you gonna switch tabs or something? How is that?
Well, I think for me, like, because chess.com has a simul function where it'll just give me one board at a time, and then I play a move, and then it'll just like move me to the next board.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that'll work. Okay, custom position. Let's play.
I'm so nervous now. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
so simple, so easy. Just like boom, checkmate. It's like,
Let's do
promotion.
2 minutes plus 30-second increment. And okay, I'm just gonna set up a random position here.
All right.
Okay. Now, how do I? I think it might only let me. It might only let me do one at a time. Let me see here. Oh wait, challenge link. Okay. I'm gonna send you guys. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna send you a link. I think if you all click it, then we should get 3 games.
All right.
If not, then we'll figure it out. Now, how do I? One sec. Here, I'll send it in Discord. And then once the game starts, I guess we can all mute as usual
Yep.
Okay.
and check back in after. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, it didn't link. I have to copy paste. All right, I
Okay,
got
it
one
works for
game.
me.
Is it link.chess.com? Or
Yeah,
is
if
it
you just copy paste it to your browser, hopefully it works. I'll make a move here so the game doesn't abort with.
It says it
Anushka.
doesn't exist for some reason.
No, it says does not exist.
Yeah, same
Okay,
for
so
me.
just the one. Okay, didn't normally challenge links it lets you play the same game.
Ah.
Okay. All right, let's okay, how about this? We'll play one at a time. We won't play the full 50 moves, so it won't take forever. But how about just Anushka mute and then everyone else stay in?
Okay.
Although she'll hear us as well, so
I can deafen.
You deafen
Okay.
as well. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, so Anushka played Rook h6 here as her first move. I think this is definitely correct because
also gonna go watch her profile.
if Rook d2 check, then the king could have come in. So this is exactly the right move here to stop the king from advancing. Okay, let's. Well, okay, like I said, there's not like a lot we can really try here, but let's just like give a check and then just kind of swing the rook around and see what happens. The main reason it's tough here for white to try anything is because it's really hard to organize, like to offer a rook trade that doesn't lead to a draw. Like if I try to trade rooks on c6, it's drawn, or in many other places. Only thing, maybe I can try to get the rook, I don't know, to f6 somehow, maybe. Okay, let's give check. I'll come down. Okay, so you guys have an advantage of not going first because you can see that there really is nothing here for
I was just thinking this. I was like, maybe I should have muted too and deafened too.
No, it's all good. Okay, so she's bringing her king up, which is very annoying because yeah, now it's like I can't really try anything with the king on e7, so I'm gonna have to bring the rook back at some point. Okay, I'll just go here. Just pretend I'm doing something.
Can she play rook a8 here, or is that bad?
Rook a8.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
just
not. Can you
not-
play king e4? Yeah, it's not just really doing anything.
Just not necessary. I think it doesn't spoil anything because white is not in a position to take advantage.
Yeah.
But you don't really like need it. And I would say in a game like when you don't have a lot of time, it's better to just kind of like you have your setup and you stick to it, and you only switch if like concrete. Like this check I think is not necessary, but there's really nothing wrong. And then you go back, right? So it's like, okay, you're sticking to your set. Clearly this check doesn't disturb black's defensive idea here.
Yeah.
So yeah, in general, as long as it doesn't kind of change your whole setup, it's all right. Okay, I gotta find something here. Oh wow. Okay, now she's she's just trying to draw comfortably here. Now she's just trying like. Okay, I'll play here. We'll see. I actually like this because now it's like now I don't even like have I don't think I have winning chances anymore. Now I think it's like okay, she goes back. Okay, I'll come in here, make sure the king doesn't step to again, and yeah, really not much we can do. Okay, let's go here. We'll just pretend we want rook d6, even though that's not a threat. Black can just take and go king d7 and make a draw. But yeah, of course, black has basically any move with the rook. King e7 is also fine. Okay, let me offer a draw. I think I'm fed up. I got I got nothing. Great.
What were you sending draw offers before and I just didn't see them?
No, just
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, good stuff. Well done. Let's see, Matt and Rachel, do you guys want to try this one as well?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Let me make a new. Oh, it's all still loaded. Okay, great. Yeah, Rachel, I'll just send you a challenge directly.
Okay. Oh, where did they? Okay. All right, I will. Devin.
Great. All right, good luck.
Yeah, hit mute audio. Okay.
Okay, so Anushka, how was the defense there for you?
It felt pretty simple. So I kept expecting you to like push the pawn and bait me into like taking, and then you rook check me, and then I go away. So I was like expecting that, and I was like, oh no, I won't fall for it. I'll, like check
maybe
and then
that's a
take the
good
pawn.
try. Okay, I'll try that against Rachel.
Oh, okay.
I was really struggling. I was just having a hard time coming up with anything. I found one idea here. Okay, I'll play rook a6. It doesn't threaten anything, but I've stopped Rachel from making the one move.
Yeah.
So maybe I guess okay, here rook d2 check would be a mistake, for example. So maybe there is a tiny bit of question here for black, but I think basically any okay. Well, let's see, king e6. Now this one is still drawn, but now it's gonna get tough. Do you guys have an inkling how you would continue from here?
It's like the short side, long side thing, right?
Yes, Matt. I think you're
Yeah, rook.
muted, by the way.
Oh.
No,
What,
you're
me?
good. I thought I saw Matt.
Oh, Matt.
Yep, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was thinking. I mean, you
Okay,
can
wait.
go
I
rook
think that
d8
was
and then the.
the wrong first move. Sorry.
Yeah,
Or,
Rachel.
I don't.
That was
Yeah.
that
I
was
think
a
I
blunder.
lose now.
Let's reset.
Okay. Sorry.
I'll get. Let me.
I don't know why I. So yeah, what is the first move like? Moving the king up?
So this is why
Or-
it's important to like understand these positions. Basically, I'm not threatening anything with rook a6, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's what would be the next move here for white? I guess I do have one annoying move, which would be maybe king d6 might be annoying here.
Yeah. I mean, eventually pushing e6, right?
Eventually e6. If I push e6 right away, then you give checks from behind, you're totally fine. If I'm allowed to go king d6, then you're in a bit of a conundrum there because it's hard to give a check without allowing me to either put the king on e6 or the pawn on e6, and both would be unpleasant. Anushka actually, I think, showed a very good defense. So what would be the simple way to stop king to d6 here?
King,
You just oh,
king
I don't know
D6
actually.
or king D7 or king E7?
Just king e7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
king
just advance
E7.
your king up. You just
Okay.
demonstrate to white why they want to keep the rook on the 7th rank, because otherwise your king is more active and participating in the defense.
Yeah.
So I think if you play king e7, then yeah, don't have such a great way to
Yeah.
immediately. You just sit
Then
there
rook A7,
basically.
you just go back and it's the same position. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Hello there, maybe king d6. Okay, maybe this one's a little. You know what? To be fair, this one I think is a little bit tricky because maybe actually after rook a6 it's hard to get the Philidor defense, so it's not exactly what we're trying to practice here.
You can just
Sure.
shuffle your king though, right? And you're fine.
But is it still drawable though after rook d8?
I think it is a draw still. But it's like with like Anushka was saying, you have this like short side, long side defense.
Okay.
Which is a bit more advanced. I don't really want to get into it because that one is harder.
Sure.
But one day in time. Okay, let's actually maybe we can just do a rematch.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, nice.
Okay. I'll
Beautiful.
mute again.
All right, let's go again. Okay, so yeah, that was interesting. I inadvertently found the position where you can't get the Philidor defense, even though you it feels like you should. So that was my bad. Let's play. Wait, but even here, okay, I need to just not play. Yeah, let's just play here. Right. Just need to allow the rook to the 6th rank. Okay, yeah, this should have been basically the starting position. Okay, first I'm just gonna shuffle, and we'll see what black does. And now we have to challenge black's rook somehow. All right, let's go here.
So like here, like where when you would play like rook h8 check and then king e7, or I guess if she goes king d7, then check, rook takes, and then yeah, rook h7 check. That's what I thought you were gonna do.
I see.
So you have to go after e6 check. I think you have to go rook d6 check first, and then take the pawn. And then you're
Right.
fine.
Yeah, rook d6 and then take.
So it could be interesting.
Like rook b5. Yeah, there's like so many ways for black. Let's try. I'll try this one. So yeah, there's no threat. It's really just a matter of not panicking, basically, in this one. Okay. Oof. All right. Let's go here.
Hi, Megan.
Like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. I guess that's fine.
All right, we'll offer the trade. I think black should take it. I think that's the easiest way.
Yeah.
And then we'll quickly test Rachel's
King and pawn.
king and pawn technique.
So, and then king back just one square. Yeah. I always actually have to like physically recall this. Like I should know it by like pattern, but I'm like, no, I've gotta double check.
But this one, I mean, it's like, you know, your king is just it's just a magnet to the pawn, right? So it's like if you can't put it on e7, you put it on e8. Basically, it's like
Right.
there's no.
I like that way as a like a way to think about it.
Okay, great. All right.
Very professional draw.
Yes. Well done.
Okay.
All right, Matt, you want to go for one?
Sure. Let me...
Okay. I didn't have many ideas to start here, but wait, custom challenge. No.
How did you deafen everybody in Streamlabs, or did you just turn your audio off?
Mute audio and stream together.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah.
Does it mute for chat as well? Will chat hear you if I'm browser source?
What? Oh, if it's a browser source? I actually have no idea.
Well, we'll find out.
I don't think my chat was able to hear you guys, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because then I would just be talking over you, so, and then it'd be weird.
Okay, I just sent the challenge. Alrighty, okay. Looks like Matt's muted. Okay, so with Matt, we just moved it over a file, which I don't think makes a huge difference, but just good for some variety. Rachel, how is the defense for you there?
It was, I mean, other than the first game, it was okay. I mean, I wasn't sure, like, right at the end, I don't know, you were talking the first game with Anushka about, like, bringing your rook to f6. I didn't know if it made a difference at the very end, like, which side I had my rook on. I don't think it did. But I was, like, wondering about that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, basically it doesn't. Once your rook is, like, on the 6th rank, it can be on either side of the king or pawn.
Yeah.
You're always able to get behind in time. No, first position was my bad actually, because that was one where with white to move, you're like not actually achieving the Philidor defense, so it wasn't exactly fair, basically.
Okay.
But anyways, instructive position for different reasons. Okay,
Yeah.
how are we gonna try to all right, I'll go here again. And yeah, basically I think the best defense is to just bring the king forward, and very difficult for decide
Oh
with the
wait, I'm
pawn
not
to
following you
really
guys.
do anything. Go c1. Okay, black just sits, which is correct. Here. Okay, and all right, let's try we'll try Anushka's trick.
He did hear us talk about it already.
He did.
Like,
what
Hail
can we do?
Mary.
We gotta try something. Well, actually, here I'll do it. I'll try it. I'll try it in a craftier way.
Okay.
Okay, you still just wait until you push d6 and then move the rook to from behind.
That's the idea. I'm gonna go d6, and then
And then, like
if-
rook g2.
and then try to move the rook. Of course, d6 wasn't a threat. Black could give rook g5 check there, and then on rook d5 just trade rooks, and that would be easy draw. This is also good, just stopping me from advancing the pawn. No real way to punish this because my rook can't advance. I'll just check. Now if I could play rook h7 check there followed by king c6, then yeah, we're getting somewhere, but he correctly goes back. And okay, I'll go here. And then I'll push d6 next. All right, let's try it. So what'd you guys do here?
Rook f1. Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Makes the most sense.
All right.
just check from behind.
Kind of same mechanism. Yeah, as soon as the pawn goes, you send the rook. And now there's no nowhere to hide.
Could you? I mean, would rook takes d6? Oh,
No, rook h7 check.
yeah. Then you resign.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, give check. Not much else. And okay, come back. Now black can give checks already, or just advance the king. Either way is good. Okay, great. Good stuff. Okay, I think you guys are more than set for that one. You're done. You can mark it off. You don't have to do it ever again, actually. Unless you lose it in a game, you don't have to do it, in my opinion. I think you guys are
Let's go.
Yay.
you guys are set. All right, let's go back to the classroom. And let's talk about the Lucena, which is a bit more interesting because at least you get to win. And there's more variety actually. I think it's harder than the Philidor, I
Yeah.
would say. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, are you guys all back?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, great. So, Lucena position is a very important technique when we have an extra pawn and black has not been able to set up the Philidor defense. So these two are like linked very, very closely together because a failed Philidor usually leads to a Lucena position where the stronger side then has to demonstrate that they know the winning technique from here. And generally it ends up to a point like this because we could run the tape back a couple moves, but essentially what has happened is black's king is like forced off the back rank. White's king is able to advance the pawn gradually. And eventually we get into a situation like this where the king stops white's king from getting in or getting out from the pawn on one side, and the rook, of course, cuts the king on the other side. And now this is where white has to use their rook to extricate the king. You guys have maybe heard of the bridge technique?
Yes.
I've heard of it, yes.
Okay, familiar? Or
Yes.
I, like, on a really vague level, looked at it ages ago, can't quite
not
remember.
good.
I mean, yeah, essentially it's like getting your king connected with your rook, so your rook's behind the pawn kind of thing. But I can't remember, like, I know that there's some technique, but I can't remember what that is at all.
All good, no worries. Well, that's why we're practicing. So okay, Rachel, you said you know this one. How would you play here for white?
Right now. Oh,
Mhm.
wait. Am I on the wrong classroom? I might be on the wrong classroom.
I've drawn an
Is it-
arrow that's wonky on it.
Yeah, I'm not in the
Yeah.
right classroom. Okay, great. Is it a new one?
Nope.
No, we went to
I-
a game 2, but it should have moved
Oh,
everyone.
that's why. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it won't let me go to game 2.
That's a bug.
Refresh?
Refresh.
Okay, I see the smiley face now. Great. Okay. Well, in this position, I just know you get the rook to like the 4th rank, and then at some point like there's king d5 and the rook d2 check, and you play rook d4 to block with the bridge.
That's basically right. Anushka, you have a
Sorry,
sense
please
here?
repeat.
What would you play here?
Rook f1 check, and then bring the king around, or rook to the 4th rank, and then bring the king around, and then if the
Rook f1
yeah.
and then king e7, and then
Oh yeah, for white.
or wait, rook f1
Yeah.
and then the king leaves,
And then you go.
and then rook f4. Yeah.
And then bring the king.
And then
So
you
we
bring
want to
the
get the king to
king
d5?
Yeah. Or then you're checked like this way,
Yeah.
and you go
the king
here, and then this is the
Oh.
last move where you don't protect the pawn, and then you block this way.
And if the king ever walks up and attacks your rook, then you can just bring the rook to the other side, and then cover your position again.
I'm gonna need to see this in practice.
Yeah, we'll definitely practice it. But you guys basically have it, right? You give check, and then you bring the rook to the 4th rank or the 5th rank, depending on how you look at it. But it's this one. So the reason is if you move it up past the middle point, then the enemy king can harass your rook and mess with your bridge. But
At that point, is it possible to reset and sort of, is it still winning or is it draw because
yes,
you can't?
You can pretty much always reset here by basically going back to this position and then winning it fresh.
Cool.
But
Just get it right
check,
the second time.
Checking up, you can also start with this one, intending to play rook f4 check next move, which also works. But again, it's really important to just understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the king out. So what does that mean? Let's say black goes rook f2 here. Then what should we do?
King c7.
then king is ready to come out, right? Because the rook is in position. So I give check, and king is now able to step out.
Wait,
Right.
after rook f2, can't you just go rook e1, rook e8 check, and then queen? Oh, never mind. The king is not out.
Yeah.
But then you can just bring the king out, because if you ever get this like pawn and rook, then you can just bring the king like anywhere and then
Infinite
attack the rook,
checks.
and
That
then queen.
no, that absolutely wins. Yeah, check
Oh,
and
okay.
you just run away.
Right. Of course.
So
Huh.
absolutely, like, really important idea to know, because a lot of times you win just like this. So
Yeah.
rook hits the promotion square, and then king is done. King doesn't need to do anything. So this is even easier. And actually, there's a couple of these, like, I don't want to call them like shortcuts, but there's like multiple ideas here. So for example, in this concrete position, maybe someone in the chat knows, there's actually a much easier way and much more logical way to win than the weird like 4th, 5th rank thing. You can just come this way and challenge black's rook.
Sure.
So like,
Oh.
and it's actually way easier because like black literally can't, and it's the same idea.
Do
You put the
anything.
rook on the back rank, and then the king runs away. It doesn't have to defend the pawn anymore. So let's just say black sits.
It's kind of just more forcing. Like,
It's much more logical too. It's like you just go
Yeah,
and
yeah,
challenge
yeah.
the rook. Just go and challenge rook, and that's it. Game over.
Huh. I suppose it's not as fast. Is that the only difference? Like, is it faster to?
I think it's faster. I think it's simpler. So here, for example, after let's say this one. Okay, let's say black comes here.
Yeah.
Then
This is what the engine always does.
we come out. Let's say check, and let's say here.
Oh.
Oh, but now rook f8.
Rook f8. Good.
Oh.
I think this is easiest. Maybe there's other ways, but this immediately wins. Let's say black just kind of waited, and oops, done this one.
Now you can go like this, right? Or
Yeah, I think this is easiest. Maybe there's other ways, but you just advance the bridge, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now black's not in time. Now, if the king was on
Right.
g6, this wouldn't work. Why?
you have to go around the other way, because
Because of rook e2
they
check.
take the thing.
Because black
they
can
take the
take on
pawn.
d7. Yeah.
Oh,
Rook
of
e2
course,
check,
yeah.
we bridge them. Rook e5.
Yeah,
We win
sure.
that. But rook d7, of course. So that's why the king is on g6. Okay, you don't have this rook f5, but you have rook f8. So no, actually, I think this method is easier. Actually, I think it's way easier. The only problem with this one is that it just doesn't work with knight pawns. So that's why you need the Lucena, is that if you have an extra knight pawn, then you don't have enough room for this like super simple maneuver. That's when you need the genius Lucena technique. So I don't know if people have to know that, but to me it's like, I don't know. I think this is way easier for the most part. And if I had like 1 second on my clock, this is what I would do. Like just rook a1. But with a knight pawn, then you do have to know Lucena. Let me make a new position here real quick. We'll see the difference, but I think you guys could kind of imagine. Here we don't have enough room to bring the rook to a8. If the pawn was a rook pawn, then that one is drawn. That one is just impossible to win because you don't have enough room to get the king out. Here we do win, but only thanks to Lucena. Okay, Matt, let's have you play from here because you need some practice. Oh, muted.
Wait, I think he's muted. Yeah.
It's good.
I definitely need some practice. Yes. Alright,
Well, let's just play from here. Let me just have you play white.
cool. What in
Just
the
on
classroom?
in the classroom. Yeah.
All right,
Like you
cool,
can.
cool,
I
cool.
think you can make moves.
Yeah. Okay, one second. I'm just gonna mute.
Okay, good. Good. Go. How do we? How do we?
Just everyone sees the arrows.
Okay, I'll go here.
He's got it.
Oop.
Is it Rook D8 now?
This rook H or A4, and then you can bring the rook to A5.
I think Rook D8 is. We can give checks.
Oh yeah, you can give checks from the yeah.
See here, Matt will have to think about how to win.
Does Rook H4 work? Or like, is anywhere on the fourth rank work?
So if Rook H4, what's your next move?
Oh then. Oh, because they're gonna play Rook C1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so you need to hide behind the.
Oh,
you need to be able
go
to play
ahead.
like B6 and A6 and hide behind the Rook on A4, so you can't go like check from the A file, right?
So where do you want to play?
Like Rook A4. That way, if like Rook C1, okay, you can play King B5 and then.
Yeah.
Right. So in Rook A4,
But
let's
if-
say black sits.
The rook A5.
Rook A5.
Then Rook A5. Yeah. So that's still winning. Yeah.
But if
There's-
you play Rook
Mhm.
H4, is it the same thing? Because
Rook H4. Oh, to play Rook H5?
yeah.
Yeah. Basically anywhere to
Okay.
like bring the rook to the 5th rank.
Okay.
It's winning there. You could also start with the Rook E4 check, just to kind of kick the king even further. I think the simplest though was Rook C4, followed by King C7,
Okay. Right. Okay.
where it's
Oh.
just no more checks.
Yeah.
This one though, the king I think is gonna have to reset.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the struggle with knight pawns, is that you don't have this idea anymore as well.
I do like never look for easier ways to do things. Like I always do it like the algorithm way, like without thinking.
Yeah, so it's like I think there's strengths to that, especially with low time. It's really good to like have this good like reliance on the algorithm. But
Yeah.
if there's cases where it doesn't work, then you could like really get it, because like all of a sudden you get so confused. It's like, oh, it's like this was supposed to be winning and then it's not working. Like your brain kind of scrambles. Whereas if you just think about the position on your own, then you'd probably figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to hide again.
Yeah. Now, nice thing, it's still winning, and you've got basically like 50 moves. So if you do have to reset, it's not a big deal. It's
You
only
play Rook D4 now, right?
yeah, you could play Rook D4 and still win it. So it's important like not to panic. Be like, okay, I'm still winning. Let me figure it out. Okay, Rook D4, good. All right, I wanna see. Okay, so now if white is given a move, well, basically we would get to that same position. So let me, I will allow it. We'll see if Matt can figure it out on the.
Is your
second
king
try.
optimal on e6? Like king e5 is probably like too far away from the pawn or something.
Yeah, king e5 I think would be far away.
Okay.
So for example, then white goes rook to d8, and then the king leaves via c7, d7 even.
Right. Okay.
Although you go back king e6. So maybe king e5 was okay, but then white would have to find either rook a4 or rook over h4, and yeah, basically find a way to make the bridge. Okay, let's give check. Let's wait.
All right, now he has to find it again. Same position.
Yeah. Yeah, so you gotta find something nice.
Yay!
Okay. Let's see. How do I? All right, I'll resign.
Does Matt know how to checkmate with the
Sure he does. Okay, good stuff. So that one was a little tricky because we didn't really look at this rook c4
Yeah,
idea.
because I said like also the rook f8 in the other one. I was like, oh, just rook f8, and then I was like trying to calculate actually, like when you were like, yeah, rook f8 is fine, and then I was like, oh, but actually I'm not sure how rook f8 actually works, and I don't think it does because I had to go back and then reset. And in this one, it was rook d8. I went rook d8, and then I've got to sort of tuck myself back in.
No, a lot of times, yeah, rook to the back rank would work. It would win, but in this case, yeah, because
No.
with the knight pawn, you don't have enough space. So again, it gets a little trickier. But you
Yeah.
do have, yeah, you do have this way to like cover the king. This is a nice winning idea. You could also, let's say on king b6, put your king on a6, and then do the same thing with rook a4, and then the king hides on the a file, and
right.
your so there. Okay, there would be one detail to know. Let's say here. Okay, you can give check and promote, or you can promote and give check. Either way.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Like just typical way to finish that off there. Okay, nice. Rachel, let's have you try one.
Okay.
Why don't you take over from here as white?
All right. I will mute.
All right, check. D4, good. All right, let's all right, let's try this one. Oh, maybe I should have switched it up to the G pawn. That's right, just to change it up a bit. Okay, so now if king e5, then white can just go rook d8. We give check, and white has king d7, can just run away. Okay, so let's. White could also make a queen. Let's give check. King e5, rook d8 again. Well, let's try it. Because otherwise we get the same position that we just had with Matt, basically. Rook b4. That looks good. Okay, how do I? I don't know
Oh,
how to
I was
reset.
muted. I literally asked why not rook b4 after king e5, and then you were like, "Oh, well, we'll change it." So I just assumed you had.
Nice one. Oh, one sec, guys. Let me.
No worries.
Rook c8 double exclam. Okay. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Okay.
No stress. Yeah, it's so easy to forget this stuff. Like, that's for sure. There's so many things. Although me and Rachel were trying the bishop and knight mate out a few weeks ago, so we should probably retry that at some point. Although that's less needed for sure.
You said bishop and knight mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's good. But not very common, and I don't think it's the most important before tournament. But that one is good to try.
Yeah, we got some content out of that. Thanks, Fly. I'm proud of me too.
I like the chess.com ones, like the chess.com rook endgame progression, because it's like rook endgames, but like there's like a little spice to them, you know.
Oh, cool. And is it all like bots? They sort of like
Yeah,
play
you just
through
play against the
again.
max engine,
Nice.
and then yeah. I also like just for fun. Nick showed me some rook endgame puzzles yesterday.
Oh,
I
nice.
thought those were cool. Like, okay, I don't know if I can show you one, but there's like where white has a king on a8 or a1 and a rook on c1, and black has a rook on a8, and you have to mate with only one rook move. Like you can only make one rook move, and you have to like figure out how to checkmate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
that was fun.
That's nice. Yeah. What do you think about puzzles that... So I've seen some chess puzzles that aren't really chess puzzles. Like there's a whole bunch of random pawns on the board, and you've got to find the optimum way for the bishop to like catch all of them without...
Oh, like vision training?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried those. I don't know about how relevant they are. This one was fun because it's like it actually teaches you about opposition and flanking, but it's like a fun restriction.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well done, guys. I think you're ready here with the rook endgames. I feel confident you'll be able to handle your own. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. We'll get... I'll get at least one rook endgame, and then
Yeah.
I'll see if I can.
Yeah.
Although I usually would trade into them because I quite like rook endgames. Okay, I don't really know the theory, but like I just quite like them in general to play because I feel them like, okay, they're very complex, but at the same time, like I feel like it's just all about activity, and I quite like that as just a concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I wanted to do some opening sparring with you guys if we have some time.
Yep.
Basically, I'll just have like two of you play it at once, and you guys can just each play, let's say, your repertoire against each other.
Okay.
And get some reps in. Okay, let me think about what you guys should be doing. Anushka, what do you play against? D4? Oh, you play Grunfeld, right?
Grunfeld. Yeah.
And Rachel, oh, I heard you're playing King's Indian.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Okay, and let's see. Rachel, you're E4 player?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And
What do they play against 1v4?
okay, cool. So we have two E4 players.
Yeah, I do play 1v4 actually.
D4 player.
Oh.
And how are you feeling about the King's Indian? Is there
I've usually I always play the King's Indian, but like I don't super love it. So I was like, maybe I'll learn the Grunfeld, but I haven't learned it to the point where I would feel comfortable playing it in a tournament. So yeah.
Yeah, you want to have some practice in a new opening before you play it. You want to have a lot of games in it. King's Indian's good. I mean, I like the King's Indian a lot. But yeah, if it's important to find openings that you also enjoy playing. So that's very important. Okay. So yeah, let's basically have two of you play at a time. I think Blitz would be fine for this, because we're just gonna, yeah, just spar the opening. Let's say like by move 20, just offer a draw, and then we can discuss. And let's play a little faster time control. Let's play like 5+3 for this.
Okay.
Give you guys a few more reps.
So who's playing who?
Yes. Let's see. So you guys just played. What did you guys play the other day? You were practicing. Oh, the Catalan.
Oh yeah, me and Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's do Blood Queen White against Rachel first. Let's start with this.
Okay.
Practice the King's Indian. See how it goes.
Oh boy, we have
We've
done this
played this
quite
so
a
many
times.
Oh, have you? Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But like it's always different. Like Rachel always plays something different. It's like the first time like we ever like played a tournament together in person, I showed her like what to do against my King's Indian line, and she never plays it. She just
I forgot.
Well, okay, there's like 2 moves that I said. Do you remember what the 2 moves are? Oh my god.
Let's just look at it. Actually, now I'm just curious.
Okay.
Let's just make a new.
Maybe once you tell me, I'll be like, oh yeah.
Well, E5 or C5, do you remember?
Oh wait, sorry. Wait, I completely misunderstood what you said.
Oh.
Say it. You're saying
Dude.
what opening do you play? What?
What? No,
Wait,
like
okay, actually,
should you Okay. Yeah, so
when
I
to
play
play E5 versus C5. Yeah, I don't remember that. Sorry. Okay.
I play knight c3 and I allow Grunfeld specifically because I have such a high win rate in this King's Indian line, and I want to get into it as much as possible. I like learned how to play against a Grunfeld. I was scared of it for months, and I learned it specifically because I wanted to allow the King's Indian. So that's
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
I play
Right,
Averbach.
Anushka, you play Averbach. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah, I need to touch up on my King's Indian lines.
yeah. Rachel, you have access to a very good King's Indian course on the Dojo website. And in fact, there's a starter repertoire that is designed for people that don't have like a lot of like opening theory necessarily, so they can just quickly like learn
Where?
couple lines.
Oh, I did not actually know about this.
Yes, it's on the materials page. I think under
Yeah,
courses
if you're a
maybe.
Dojo member, there's openings.
Yeah,
I think a lot
I
of
looked at
dojos
David's
don't know.
Nightdorf.
But yeah, we got like multiple courses. We got Nightdorf course from David. I have a King's Indian course. Jesse has like an E4 course.
There's a French
Exclam Dojo.
course as well, I think.
French.
Wow.
But yeah, maybe check that out. I feel like you could. Well, yeah, you could get a refresher over the next couple of days. And then there's some really good exercises there as well, Rachel, if you want to try those out.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to.
That are like for like thematic King's Indian type puzzles, basically.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. Thank you.
Okay, well we could spar this. So Anushka, what do you recommend in this?
Well, the moves that I know are like supposed to be good are knight a6 here, and you can also, or you can just play normal. Rachel likes playing h6, which is fine. You can do that. And then like play for c5 instead of e5.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like the only two ideas I know. But then like I know that if you do that, I can't really do my kingside pawn storm thing. I just have to castle, but I still have a good position.
Yeah,
It's just a
still
good line.
playable.
Yeah.
Actually, that's basically, I feel like that's mostly right. Black has like two main directions, like one with knight a6 and then e5, which I think is pretty playable. And then you could also play c5 first, and then h6, or maybe even h6 first and then c5. But you can also play like this and then follow up with e6 and play like a Benoni structure. Rachel, do you have any preferences? Do you normally like to play like Benoni style or more like e5?
Wait, is the idea where is the knight going, or what's the future of the knight on a6? Because I've never
Uh,
played knight a6.
so with knight a6, basically, yeah, you're trying to fight for the c5
Oh.
square. So you go e5, and pretty much white has to close the position here with d5, because usually white is trying to kind of take the space advantage. And otherwise, you're going to take on d4, and the queen is lined up against your bishop, which is dangerous. They can go knight f3, but it's not exactly the idea of this system. But anyways, when you take on d4, your knight gets the c5 square. So generally, it's going to c5.
Okay,
And so
so
like,
And then you play like a5 to solidify it, right? Or I saw something about that.
exactly, yeah. So this would be pretty typical, like d5, knight c5. White defends the pawn. Let's say with f3 or something, and then you would play a5
Okay.
to make sure that the knight doesn't get kicked.
And you wouldn't want to play b4 before f3 because what, knight d7 and b6 kind of?
No, e4 is just hanging, so it's like actually
Oh, yeah, of
really
course.
good tactic to know. You can typically take and go for this.
And someone else
Right.
in the chat said, what if they go a3 to play b4 anyway?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Good question. So this one I just want to say, like, generally these kind of endgames are good for black because bishop's hit, we're trying to take the bishop comes back, then I think we can bring the knight back. And yeah, it's pretty sharp, but it's supposed to be generally supposed to be good for black there. And so if let's say here, so a3 is hard to achieve because there's here there's knight b3 as well, but generally black is just going to play a4 to fix the square.
Nice.
Now white can start with like b3 and then like very slowly try to play rook b1, a3, b4, but this takes a lot of time, and then by the time that happens, black generally has a way to deal with it. Sometimes the knight comes to a4, sometimes the knight just drops back to a6 if needed. So the plan from here for black generally in most e5 structures is going to be to play for the king side with f5. Here that's hard to achieve because of like the pin. So like a typical maneuver for black is to get the queen out with queen e8 and then like knight h5 and f5, for example, is
When f5, I've played similar positions, and sometimes I struggle with like, I know to play f5 you sometimes move the knight to e8 or sometimes to h5 or sometimes to, I mean, rarely to d7, but you know, when like, how do you know where to move the knight in order to play f5?
So sometimes you just have options. Sometimes like multiple moves are possible. Sometimes one might be better than the other. And so it's just about like the concrete position. But generally it's like knight h5 is good if you're thinking about possibly jumping into f4, which it could be the case here. If there's no pawn on f3 and it's like your knight can get sniped on h5, then sometimes that's not so good. You have to, be careful about that. And yeah, sometimes white goes knight d7 because it like reinforces c5 and so it gets out of the way, but it also supports c5, which is good, and then plays f5. And then sometimes knight a8 is just completely out of the way is better. But then eventually the knight is always kind of coming back to f6, which is why sometimes it's like not the biggest decision because your knight just comes back to f6 anyway.
Okay.
After you push f5. But yeah, there's There's examples of all of the above. Like the knight, yeah, sometimes goes to h7, sometimes goes to g8 even. Like there's plans of king h8, knight g8, and then f5 if nothing else is available.
Okay, so knight g8 plan is like when there's not really other options.
Yeah, because it kind of takes more time. You have to move the king as well. But I guess there are definitely some cases where it's a thing. But they're not. I would say they're not super common.
And then, sorry, one more question. If the bishop
Yes.
like at some point drops to e3 or maybe a different line, it's like the bishop's on e3 and then knight's on c5. Is it generally like do you generally play b6 there, or do you just kind of leave it and allow it to be taken and then take back with the d pawn?
Yeah, that one really depends. That's hard to say. B6 is often fine.
Okay.
I guess it's more important to understand the drawbacks of each. So when you play B6, it makes it harder for black to attack on the queen side because now you don't have the C6 break. So if white castles queen side, our main form of counterplay is to play C6 and open up
Right.
the C file and so on. But on C6, it's really important that we can recapture with a pawn to cover the light squares. If we play B6 and then we eventually play C6, then white can just take and they get the D5 square, and that's going to be playable, but kind of a difficult structure for black, I think. So we have to understand with B6, we're somewhat limiting our queenside play. But you can definitely do it, especially if white is castling kingside, in which case their plan is usually going to be to like advance a3, b4, and then b6 is generally helpful for your structure because it holds back white's pawns somewhat. So there would definitely be fine. But generally, yeah, b6 I would say is okay. Although
So,
we're
let's
not
say
like
right here,
super
sorry.
worried about this in like
Okay.
in every position. Some cases we are a bit worse, but I would say from there, the important thing to understand is just how to play that position. You put your knight on d6, you try to play f5, you try to use the dark square bishop, and then that's the cool thing about the King's Indian. It's like there really are many ways to play it, and it's just really about knowing how to handle the different structures that can happen. And you can even be worse, but if you kind of know what you're doing, it's like you're always in the game, which is nice.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
In like this kind of structure, I know when like c5 gets played, and you're supposed to just put your knight on f3 and castle kingside, and yeah, play like that. But here, my knight can't come to f3. So, and I'm also not really like. Is it still my plan to attack on the king side and castle queen side, or do I leave my king in the center, or maybe like bring my king to g2, or what am I doing?
Yeah, are you asking about like this position here after a5?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, in general, I would say when black has pushed e5 and closed their bishop, then generally white does try to castle queenside. So I think this is totally possible. And then the idea would be like h4, h5. You can also switch gears a lot of times in these positions and play on the king side. So a typical plan in these kinds of positions is to go bishop d1. And then you bring your knight out to e2, and then you castle, and then you try to play on the queen side, like a3, b4. And then the bishop on d1 is kind of helpful because it like covers like the a4 and b3 squares. And then you can put it on c2, which is where it really wants to land, because then it supports your play against f5. So when black eventually carries out the f5 break, you can take on f5, and then your bishop is well positioned there if you go for the kingside castling.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, just optically, I feel like this is quite playable as well, just looking at it, because center is closed. You'll put your king on b1, so it's not a ton of counterplay that black can achieve. Yeah, something like c6, and then maybe king to b1.
Oh, here we can do that. Never mind. So that's probably not great.
You could actually. Well,
is it double-edged?
Every time I get this, the computer loves it.
Now, if black could play queen b6 here safely, I would say this is super dangerous, but the problem is white has a
Knight
double
to d8.
attack. So this endgame, I would be honestly not sure. I think
Mm.
It's a triple attack.
I might be biased here. But I would think black is actually quite active here. Maybe we could play a
Okay.
couple more moves to
Like,
truly understand.
can we do this?
Well, this one's hanging, so if you want to do that, you have to give up
Oh,
the
shit.
bishop. Yeah. You could take on f6 and take on c6, and then you'd be 2 pawns up at the cost of a lot of dark squares.
Yeah, I think maybe just bring the guy back.
All right, so let's say
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
Right down the
It-
microphone.
it comes a bit, yeah, weird. Like,
That was a quiet one as well.
that was a quiet one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think the microphone amplified it. It wasn't that bad.
I think your mic today is also super amped. Like it feels like it's maxing
Yeah.
out when you
Mhm.
I
speak.
agree.
I can. Is that much better for you?
Yeah.
All right, let's
might be better.
say this one. Maybe there's other moves for black. Five.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying things.
So then this is going to be a problem.
Yes. I mean, okay, listen, I don't think I'm holding this against an IM, but
No, but it's more about the position.
like,
Bishop c4 is a
okay,
nice
can I
move.
do something?
But yeah, I think if I play here, you're gonna win back the pawn.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
I have no. So what's the like main plan for black here?
basically playing on the dark squares. Like just go back for a sec. If white did nothing, black wants to get the rooks out, bring the bishop to f8, then maybe c5. One day bring the knight to d4, maybe knight h5, knight f4. Whoops. And yeah, essentially, I mean, in this kind of position, black would be looking for compensation. Maybe a4, a3. I think there's still a lot of pieces on the board that there would be play there. Okay, so just to finish this, so I take here and okay, some messy endgame blacks up the exchange. I actually don't know. The eval, I think maybe it was playable. But
There's
let's
2
say
pawns for
white
the
didn't
exchange,
go
right?
for DC. You could just play king b1 also.
Okay.
And you could also play it like this, with the idea to take on d5, either with the c pawn and just kind of keep your space advantage, or maybe take with the knight here, because it kind of looks like you get a lot of pressure against this one. I would think this is kind of possible for white.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you also have this bishop d1, knight g2, bishop c2 plan. As
Yeah, I like both. I think I'd want to try both.
yeah. You definitely can. Averbach, I think, is kind of underrated system because it's not super popular, but you get a very normal play with white. Like you have a simple plan, castle, and then attack on the king side. So I feel like decent choice. Okay, more questions here.
D20F4.
I know Anushka was explaining to me, or I don't know how much, because I know Matt has to leave in like 30 minutes too, so I don't want to ask too many questions. But I was wondering, like,
No, go for it. It's helpful. I mean, I know
okay,
it's still helpful for like general ideas and stuff.
okay. Like me and Nushka in the past have talked about when h6 is good and when h6 isn't good. Like
Mhm.
generally with this kind of thing, what would you recommend for like when to play h6 or when not to?
It's a tough one. Let me think.
There's also a point of disagreement between us because I think h6 is always bad,
You think it's
even
always
though
bad?
like I think it's always like fun for me, but or like it just gives me another target. But the computer likes it sometimes.
Yeah, so it can be helpful it's helpful to kind of kick the bishop in some cases. But Anushka, you generally like will bring it back to e3, right? And then then you get a
Mhm.
tempo with queen d2. It's kind of your idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not super relevant. I guess like if you play knight a6, white goes queen d2, and then it's hard to play h6 at any point.
Mhm.
Um, but there are definitely cases where it's useful. Okay, I'll give you an example. So I was recently looking at this position, and here I think h6 is a really good move because it forces white to choose a square for the bishop, and they don't really have um, any options without drawbacks. Like if bishop e3, the difference here is black has knight g4. It can keep harassing the bishop. And
Oh, and
then
this is like okay.
so this is why they start with bishop e2, precisely so black uh,
Okay.
wouldn't have this idea. And if bishop h4, then the bishop is further away from the queen side. So I think there are some old games like this actually, c5, d5, and queen a5. Taking advantage that white cannot go bishop d2, and like these squares are a bit weaker. And yeah, if I remember correctly, there's an old game here with bishop d3, black played g5. There's different ways black could play this, but I think the guy just took here. I think this was working. It was like this, take, check, and then his idea was that black has sacrificed a piece, but he has f5 and f4 now to win the piece back with a quality position. Like if queen h5 check, the king just runs to the queen side. There's no problem. Everything is hanging in white's position, and yeah. Anyway, it's just
Yeah, that
one
knight
fun
g4
one.
idea is super good to know. I've never seen that or played that before.
This is yeah, very very typical tactic. I mean, in this case, it's like the follow up is quite involved with this f5, but yeah, really important shot to watch out for.
I never thought about why the Averback is this first. So it's good to know.
No, yeah, no.
There's a reason why.
Yeah, that's useful. Exactly.
And then I also just don't know when to play like c5 versus e5. Like I'm almost always playing e5, but I think that's what Nishka was talking about earlier. Like,
So the thing
yeah.
there again, it's like you can typically play either one against a lot of systems, and then it's really more about a matter of following it up correctly.
Yeah.
But generally, what I try to stick to is if my opponent is castling queenside, I try to go for a c5 approach, and if my opponent's castling kingside, I try to play for e5.
Okay, that's good to know.
Kingside e5. Yeah. So like, yeah, like against f3, for example. Generally, when white plays the same-ish, they're trying to play queen d2 and castle queenside. So here, like the c5 setups are considered quite good for black. And it's kind of like not giving the opponent what they want, because if white goes for any kind of Benoni structure like this, then it's super dangerous to castle queenside. It's just extremely risky, and they generally they just wouldn't do it because they would just get just go for these pawn breaks, open up the position, and it's super dangerous. So then white has to kind of switch gears here and castle kingside, and then the position, of course, is very playable. I mean, there's a lot of a lot to know there, but yeah, it's kind of just like I guess a simple approach you could take.
Okay. No, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's see here. So yeah, of course there's a lot in the King's Indian. The nice thing is, like, typically the games just get very sharp anyway, and they just come down to whichever player handles the middle games better.
Right.
So even if you don't know the theory, you can always hopefully find a good plan in the position to play.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we have you guys play some games? Get some reps?
Yeah,
Sure.
Do it.
sounds good.
Thanks, Bishop Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do 5-3. Let's say play like 20 moves, then offer draw, and we'll take a look. We'll analyze.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
I
Do we
sent you a
mute
challenge.
or?
Yeah, while you're playing, go ahead and mute, and I'll go and follow.
Or mute and deafen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt and I here. We'll do the commentary.
Oh well, Will. I'll ask some silly questions, and you can tell me why they're bad. Okay. Hey, Katerina, thanks for raiding Rachel's channel. Welcome, raiders.
Wait, did they start yet? Can you see their game?
I can't see it yet.
I don't think they've started. Oh, they're probably setting up the.
Oh yeah, no, I see it. Do you want a link to it?
Oh, the game is live?
Yeah. I've
Oh.
links in Discord.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Oh, there we go.
Oh wow, they smashed through the opening real quick.
Oh, there we go. Blasted through. Nice. This is what we were, just looking at.
Okay, 986 line played. Oh, Phoebe! Also raided. Whoa, huge raid. Hi, Phoebe. Hello, everyone. Hello. We are prepping for the Maia chess tournament as well. We're all going to be there. So we've been doing a lot of training together for the past 5 weeks. We've been doing a training plan set out by Chess Dojo, so we've been putting however a lot of work in. And we're just sparring some openings right now. So welcome. Kostya has just been giving us crazy knowledge on the King's Indian defense. So Rachel and Anushka are now in the midst of sparring that and have followed your Bishop D1 idea as well, which is a really, like, one of those moves, I suppose. How logical is it to find something like that over the board in a classical game, do you think?
I mean, I would say generally it wouldn't be a good move if you didn't know the idea. Like if someone just plays this randomly, I'd be like, what are you doing? It's just kind of weird. But if you know the idea, then it's a lot easier to find, basically. So if you didn't know the idea, I wouldn't expect someone to play it, and would even scold them for doing so, because it's weird. But if you know that it's idea, then it does kind of.
I know.
Yeah,
I find
then it's
after
just a
I
lot
read a couple
easier.
chapters of Silman, suddenly backwards knight moves and backwards bishop moves. Like after the first 2 chapters, I was like, can I put it backwards?
Yeah, these positions are complicated. Okay, so Rachel goes for c6, knight g2. Now c6 actually I don't think is like a great plan. if white can still just castle kingside and get a normal position, because what c6 does, it only kind of opens up the queen side. And so if white castles
Right.
kingside, then it's actually white who wants to open up the c file and all this stuff.
And so would now the bishop is kind of undeveloped, we won't connect rooks, but will we be looking for anything? Because like a3 b4 now doesn't really work out for us. So
yeah, I think white still needs to basically like finish development. So castle bishop c2 and then a3 b4, they should be ready.
and bishop to c2 also helps with some potential like f5 pushes in the future. Or from black, as in like a defensive resource.
Yes,
Is it just
exactly.
sort of a bit more flexible as diagonal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bishop is well placed on c2 because it fights against the f5 push. Okay, rook c1.
Rook c1 was also kind of my natural choice, just on the basis of X-raying the queen. I get worried that sometimes moves like that seem good, but might be a bit superficial.
I think rook c1's fine. I think it's certainly in the plan. White could have also castled, or bishop c2. I think also, was okay there. But this is interesting. So knight h5 and g4 from Anushka, and now Rachel.
How I wouldn't actually mind too much with knight f4 giving up a pawn and activating my dart squares.
I think she should, yeah. Because the alternative is you lose a lot of time if you just go back knight f6. And on knight f4, the idea is like a long-term pawn sacrifice, and then white's king is very unlikely to find safety in the future. Maybe black has a third candidate move in like h6 or something, but it seems unlikely that would be good.
Right.
Or f6.
And like so, but if for example a bishop was on c2 instead of a rook on c1, would that be any better for us?
That seems like a better version for white, right? Because then white would still have the flexibility to castle queenside, which you would definitely want to do in the case of knight f4 to kind of just like run away with the king if you can.
Right.
Okay, plays knight f4. Good. Absolutely correct move.
Go.
I think it's generally, it's just better to just give up a pawn for some activity versus suffer passively in the King's Indian.
It's in the spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now white probably should take the knight with their own knight.
Yeah.
I think that seems like you kind of have to, right? Because knight d3 check is a threat. If you castle, there's knight h3 check. I think basically white has to take. Yeah, in the King's Indian, you can't be afraid to play moves like that. Exactly. You can't shy away. from these kinds of moves.
I suppose we are also playing Blitz. I forgot that we're quite short on time in terms of like thinking about this.
Yeah, since they don't have to finish the game, I think it's okay. They only have to get to move 20. And it's good to see their instinct.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that there's like a little bit of thinking time after G4 to then knight F4.
Well, I guess she wasn't sure if she wanted to play
Sure.
knight of 6. Probably didn't expect G4 from white.
Oh no, I mean right now from Blood Queen.
Oh, you mean not taking? Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I thought she
she
may have
was
followed like
surprised.
yeah.
Possible. Okay, now white should probably take, I think, with the bishop, and then here is where black okay, plays f5. I was thinking maybe there's other moves, but she doesn't really have a lot of time. Because now white can also go dc as a threat. It's an idea. DC might be
Of course. Right.
a little problematic. And yeah, everything starts to hang.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out if there's any like DC bishop c3, but there's a lot to like move orders. Because I'd love to take on e4 maybe, and then
Something,
knight
yeah, I was
takes
thinking take
e4
on
as well.
e4 or g4, but bishop d6 is pretty painful. Maybe take on e4, bishop d6, queen b6 is still fighting. But yeah, not enough time for black to figure this out. Knight d5 here, I think, is strong. If queen c6, knight e7 check.
Right.
Okay, knight d5 here, probably still good.
Oh.
Yeah, these last couple moves don't really don't matter super.
Ah, the fork. Yeah.
What?
The fork.
Don't get forked.
Good.
Good.
Although it didn't. I thought the knight f6 check for whack for 1 split second.
Okay, they're still playing. They're supposed to make a draw. Maybe Rachel will no, defending. I think out of inertia, they don't have enough time.
Yeah.
To offer a draw.
I tried. Yeah, me and Rachel were trying to spar the other day, and then Rachel was just like cannon straight through. She was like, "I think we should play to the end." I was like, "Oh."
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if queen d5 check there was good for white. Oh, that hangs.
Yep.
Um.
They might be realizing. Oh.
Oh. Going for the other rook.
I might. Oh no, they've muted us as well. I mean, if they manage to trade all the way down to a Lucena position, I'd be pretty impressed.
I feel like we might be getting there. Oh boy. King e3, good.
Go for knight f6.
Knight f6. Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah, I think knight f6 just finishing. There it is.
There we go. draw off it. Ah,
Okay.
Dude, I hung my rook.
yeah,
Like,
True.
just playing.
True.
but you could have also offered it a draw at move 20.
Sorry, we should have
Oh,
offered a draw at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
is that what was happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
completely
That's
forgot.
fine. Doesn't matter. Yeah, the idea is like, I mean, you could play out the game, like whatever. But just to give you guys time to like focus on the opening, and so you don't have to worry about like the rest of the game. So what you guys did is correct. You should spend all your time in the opening, because that's kind of like the most important part. Um, and then the rest of it, just is what it is. But let's take a look. I'm back in the classroom. If you guys want to join me there.
Okay.
I feel like this was
Yeah, I
pretty
just
interesting
blundered
game.
the fact that I couldn't play knight f4. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just play anyway. It looks like there's some compensation maybe.
I thought you were
So-
gonna play h6, like knight takes f4, h6,
Hmm.
bishop, and then g5, and then I was gonna take, and then go knight h5.
Wait, here
Wait, let me look at it in the classroom.
or where?
Yeah, here. This is what I thought was gonna happen.
Oh, wait. So knight f4.
Is it the same classroom still?
h6.
Yeah, I had to reload.
Yeah, same link.
can you just play knight g6? Oh no, our f3 pawn hangs as well.
No, that also looks fine. What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't know because f3 will. Oh no, we're defending f3. Our bishop's on d1. Yeah.
Yeah, this looks fine too.
Uh,
But I like this because it opened the h file and it kept the e pawn there.
Yeah, I missed that you could take on c6 after. Yeah, I just missed everything really. I missed that you could take after. Yeah, I was like, oh, f5 maybe we can like open some things up. I just missed that you could take on c6. And then I think I'm just worse there.
I think this one's probably still good for white, like especially if you could bring your knight around to e3. I think you're doing well. But yeah, actually, it's kind of unfortunate. It would be good compensation for black if not for DC. Although I was thinking it's probably not great. I think if we had to, I would go for, I think this. And then I was thinking maybe something like this.
Then what happens after taking the rook?
Just take back with bishop maybe. And you're just kind of trying to play for dark square
Checkmate.
compensation because white's king doesn't really have a safe square. And but that one we take.
This is bad. I just wanted
And
to
then
put my
bishop
queen on
d5.
d5.
It's bishop b4.
We get the exchange back.
Oh, shit.
Might still be okay for white, but maybe knight d5 is probably better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I believe in it for black, but maybe this is what I would try. At least like here, maybe there's still some like some difficulties for white because you do have to play with the king in the center. Objectively, of course, it should be completely winning. But okay, once we're there, I don't know. You have to kind of try to keep it alive somehow. Maybe other than f5, we could. Wish we had time for some other move. But no, it feels like a big problem. Yeah, so
I think
basically
just,
this was
just
like
98 next time and everything is fine.
at this moment, yeah, I think here 98 looks like a better choice. Yeah, okay, so let's take a look. So we had this bishop d1. C6 I think is okay, 92. And then so queen c7, I don't really like this square for the queen just because it feels like you're gonna get hit with something in the future.
Yeah, I was thinking queen e8, but then I realized after I played c6, I can't really play queen e8 anymore. Or like, if I play queen e8, I have to commit to not playing c6 in a way. Because
Yeah,
then
then
d6 is just
can-
hanging. So I wasn't sure if the plan was to play queen e8 and then not
Yeah.
Unless this isn't so bad, but so
I mean,
maybe
you couldn't
before
play queen takes
like
c6
I think you're losing a piece here.
instead.
Oh no, you're not.
I mean, you do have the backwards pawn though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think black does have some compensation here still. 'Cause maybe you can
Yeah,
get
basically
like rook
rook
d8 and knight
d8.
d4. As white's coordination is a bit iffy, but yeah, I think this isn't really generally where you don't really want to combine these two plans. So if we play queen e8, the idea is like knight h5 f5. And if we play c6, then usually, yeah, it's not to follow up with queen e8, but rather to play like bishop d7, rook c8, and play
Right.
on the queen side.
On the queen side, okay.
Yeah.
So here
So
I kind of have to like figure like she's not going to castle queen side because she just played bishop d1, so probably queen e8 and
well,
go.
white still might, like, that's kind of the sneakiness of the system. They still could go queen side if they wanted to. So maybe you can also stay flexible, like bishop d7, just kind of not commit. But here, yeah, so other than queen c7, at this point I would say queen should either come out to b6, or you could play, I think you can play bishop d7 here. You could take here as well. Maybe you were like not sure about knight takes d5.
Yeah.
Because that's how you avoid all this DC issue, is that like you
Right,
just
you
take on
just
d5 yourself. So if white commits to the structure, then of course you can play
queen
queen e8 and then move your knight and so on. If knight d5, so this is one where like, yeah, you have to be kind of okay with this, but I think this is okay for black. So let's say knight e6, hitting the bishop, and so okay, this kind of position, let's just say black definitely gets great compensation, because you're just gonna have like all the dark squares and white's pieces are really bad. Queen has to go somewhere far away. So this is one we should be kind of always happy to play.
What if you only take one so you don't trade bishops?
Wait, how so? Like this?
Like you take with the knight, like
Mhm.
this, and then you just drop the bishop back.
Yeah, it's possible. Then I think, okay, bishop h6 also is possible there. On either one, actually, I would very strongly consider trying to trade the dark square bishops, which is what black would often like to do.
No, you can't really do that, can you?
Or yeah, I think it makes a lot of weaknesses.
At least here you're not getting hit with tempo, like with the queen, and it feels like you can like do some kind of attack, right? Like, this is really empty now.
Yeah, I would think actually black is quite all right here, because we're getting the bishop trade. I think we should be happy about that.
Okay, so like this, and then
Wait, 1 sec. If you take this way, I'm not gonna give up my bishop.
oh,
Right, so you
good
probably
point.
should take with the knight first, and then and then I don't know if we want to trade, actually. Like maybe we can like play knight c5, kind of go after this guy, or we could trade. Actually, I would think this position, let's say queen b6. Black has one weakness, but white has like so many more weaknesses. I think black is doing really, really well here, actually. Definitely think we have like the better bishop, and yeah, rooks can come out.
I'm trying to like, I feel happy here. Oh, yeah. Maybe a different square. Maybe.
Yeah, but also let's say you go here. Let's say I just develop.
I guess I'm trying to make some kind of attack happen. I can't castle.
Yeah, I think white is just too
Yeah.
to open here, basically. So yeah, on CD5, I'm not sure if knight d5 is actually best because of this knight e6. It's kind of annoying. And maybe you should just take back CD, and this is usually pretty safe in this case. Very important idea here. After bishop h4, black to play.
So knight takes e4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, wait, let's make sure. Does this work? Take. Here.
Isn't that bishop
Oh, 'cause you don't
e7?
have e4.
Yes, what would you guys do here as black? I think important move here.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I messed up.
I'm thinking really hard. Wait.
Hmm.
Bang, bang.
We need a tempi.
This isn't necessarily. That seems fine. What is that? Black's up a pawn there.
You want to go rook
What?
e8,
Yeah.
but then king d2. Take your knight.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's not really attacking
So,
anything. So
Yeah,
is
we
it
need
just
a
that?
tempi.
No, but then
Whole
we
thing.
can't take the bishop back. What's going on?
Yeah.
And we lost a piece anyway.
But this isn't, yeah. I don't see anything.
Oh, I thought knight f3 worked. Huh. I see. I don't see then.
Like, I'm trying to see if we can take on c4 and then take the knight. But I don't see a way. What's going on?
Yeah, I think you have to take on c4, right? I mean, it's better to give the exchange than to give a piece.
Oh, so there's no saving the piece.
I don't think so.
Right.
But I think this position is actually good for black.
I suppose we are threatening b2 and
So
the
king
knight's
takes maybe.
really well positioned.
I don't think I have a feel for the King's Indian stuff. Coach is always like, yeah, this seems playable for black.
Yeah, me neither, honestly.
What?
I'm like, what do you mean this is fine? What do I even do here?
I think I'm just biased. But let me let me ask you guys. So it's not the easiest position to evaluate, but I think black is doing well. So we have 2 pawns for the exchange, and it's
Center pawns.
2 center pawns. Yeah, so they're quite good, and we have this dark squared bishop that's like pretty strong also. We can play a couple more moves out just to kind of see if we can clarify the situation. Let's say b3, right?
Yeah. b3 and then knight b6.
It's very very sharp. Okay, let's say I try here. Knight b6, go here. Let's play here. So now I'm threatening like e4 and bishop b2. Well, then definitely e4 I think is gonna be a problem. And knight d3.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So maybe rook c1.
It was very loosey-goosey.
Yeah, I'd go here. I think knight c3. Oh, knight c3, knight d3 again. So problem, yeah.
Oh. Can I oh shit. Do you see that like these pieces are just going to be better like from this position? Like how do you see that? Do they have better squares or dark squares? Is that
Okay, I think it's like a feeling thing. I mean, so number one, let's be clear. Black is not down material,
Mhm.
right? We have bishop and 2 pawns for the rook, which is enough. And it's like 2 strong pawns and a really strong unopposed bishop. So I'm not like that worried for black here. It's not like I have to find that much compensation here for black. Like I think black's position is kind of just good. But it's also about like white's development. Like bishop on d1 isn't great, knight on e2 isn't great, like rooks are disconnected. So white clearly needs some time here to develop. So it just kind of
Okay.
makes me yeah, just gives me the impression black's position is very like compact and
I guess the
nice.
bishop pair is a lot when you're down in it. Well, can be worth like, or can be much stronger when you're down in exchange than if you had 2 knights and a bishop.
Yeah, Dorkster bishop I think here's right, quite strong.
Okay.
So this one, let's see. I would first try here. Maybe greedy. But I feel like I can get out with knight d3 check or with a4. So I feel like we have enough resources here to get away.
I feel like we have to castle. This sucks. I'm like really biased when I'm playing games because I always want to think that I'm winning, and then I don't think I evaluate very like clearly. Like I don't actually think if I had the 2 pawns and the bishop pair for the rook, I'd be like, oh, I'm totally winning. But then the other person has it, and I'm like, but you're down in exchange.
Well, it's good to believe in yourself.
Yeah, I think I would literally calculate this far and be like, nope, doesn't work, and then do something else. Like if I hadn't seen this.
I don't blame you. Let me show you guys a game real quick, just because it was helpful for my own kind of formation. So I used to play this opening as black, the Tarash defense, and one of the critical main lines here was always for white to play this setup with bishop g2, castle,
So it's
bishop
like a
g5.
Catalan now.
Basically Catalan setup. Yeah, it was always considered very good against black's opening. And there is this critical line here with c4, knight e5, bishop e6. And remember, so white has different moves here. I think like b3 is a move to challenge the pawn. And then e4 was also a move. I remember my coach showed me that this move e4 was bad. And he apparently refuted this one over the board. Like he didn't know why it was bad, but he figured it out and then showed me. And then I ended up winning a game in the exact same fashion. So basically black played knight e4. And now if white doesn't take on e7, black is winning a pawn because we grab the pawn, and if knight takes e4, we take on g5 and we're a pawn up. So basically white, in order to justify this, has to go for this one. And now if we just recapture, then white is taking back on e4 and they get a good position there. So black, the critical line is to take on c3. Bishop takes d8, knight takes d1. Now white throws a knight takes c6, bc. And again, if white just takes the piece back, we take on d8, we're up a pawn because we snag knight takes c4. So that would be good for black. But of course, white can go bishop e7. And what my coach figured out, Grandmaster Var Akobian, is that he can just play knight b2, bishop
This
takes
looks so
f8,
similar.
king
Whoa.
takes f8. Yeah, I think this is why I didn't have huge problems with our other endgames. I think I
For
had
me,
this in my
like
mind.
this is like more closed, so the rooks don't have so much like to do. Like the other one is like feels a bit more like breezy.
The other one was, I think, a lot more complicated, yeah, than this one for sure. But I
The other
always
one there's
felt this
bishop here
position
too.
was super instructive because actually, like, black is completely winning here. It's like a lost position for white,
Wow.
which is surprising. You might think like, oh, black has compensation. No, white's actually lost because we have 2 pawns for the exchange, and we have this super simple plan of king e7, king d6, followed by c5 to
Wow.
create 2 passers in the center.
Mm.
And so white is kind of helpless against this plan because if like rook b1, black can go rook b8, and bishop f5 just kind of kicks the rook, so the knight never really gets in trouble. So that's kind of a important detail. And yeah, otherwise the just bringing in the king and playing c5 is such a strong plan that white is essentially helpless. Just has no counterplay.
Right.
Mm.
So yeah, that definitely, I was reminded from this endgame because I was just like, oh yeah, you just take the pawn, you give the exchange, and then you're good. you're good. King is also like closer to the center.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how relevant it is to the opening exactly, but it's just kind of useful to see some of those lines. In the game, after we had queen c7, I think rook c1 was very logical. Me and Matt were talking maybe bishop c2 is a little more flexible because then you can still castle queenside if you wanted. But I think rook c1 is mostly fine. You could also castle kingside too. And then knight h5. So I guess knight h5, if g4, knight f4 isn't working, then that means knight h5 is probably not right. And yeah, we mentioned knight e8 maybe is better at this point. And then it's I think still a playable position. Oh, now I checked my notes here. And so knight c5, f3, a5. Here, I think is stronger for white to go for h4, Anushka.
Oh, okay.
So I would do this one. And then it's okay, you're trying to play h5 and attack as usual, castle queenside. Which again typically makes sense as long as black is committed to e5 and the bishop is blocked on the long diagonal. So your king is very, very safe on the queenside. And then it gives you this freedom to attack
So
with h4.
I have another question then, because there's some positions where, like, I do the kingside pawn storm every single time, and there's some positions where you queenside castle, and there's some positions where you, especially if the queen goes to c7, you bring the rook to c1, and then you go king f1 to g2, and then you just kind of sit there. Especially if like they go h6 g5 and like the position gets locked like this. Do you like from an early opening position like this? How would I know which way to go?
So yeah, I think basically the way I would understand it is in general you're trying to go queenside here because you want to attack with h5 and open the king side. But if something changes and the king side gets locked up, then it totally makes sense to switch plans, put your king on the king side, and then play on the queen side as usual in the king's Indian. Because like classically speaking, it's like always white that's supposed to play on the queen side with like the a3, b4 expansion and so on. But it's just, okay, we figured out we can also put the king on the queen side and then attack. But yeah, if the structure changes and then the king side gets blocked up and then your king is super safe on g2, for example, then absolutely it becomes a viable plan.
Okay. So is it chill to like delay castling as much as possible? Because that's what I end up doing.
You can delay it a lot. I mean, it's always hard to say like exactly in these positions, but it makes sense to delay it if you're not sure. But if you've decided that you're probably going to castle queenside, then it also makes sense to do it so that you can you will have time to play king b1 and tuck your king, and so of course your rook eventually maybe goes to g1 to attack, and yeah, you'll need it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, from Black's point of view, I also discovered that instead of knight c5 right away, it's more accurate to start with just queen e8 here. And then the plan is to play for knight h5 in the future.
Okay. And then when does knight c5 come?
Knight c5 is, you should play it relatively soon. So one
Okay.
idea is like, I'm not sure exactly like why this is so precise, but one idea is like knight c5, white plays f3 to defend the pawn, and then you get knight h5 there because you blocked the bishop with f3.
Got it.
Um,
Got it.
and so you're not always afraid of like b4, because if white does play b4, what that also means is that it becomes harder for them to castle queenside.
Okay.
So if they go
So-
b4,
And you would just go to d7 then, or?
I think you can go back to d7. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You do this because it's white's move
Oh,
now, right?
yeah, if you start with f3, then I think black will go knight h5. I think that's actually really important nuance.
Okay.
Because basically, as soon as
I'm
black is
gonna have
allowed
to
to make
bounce
this move,
like
I think
this.
Yeah.
this would be helpful.
So I guess what do you do here?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bounce, so
Oh, okay.
I'll leave the stream together up. But
Okay.
Yeah, I might
catch
have
you
to
guys
leave
later.
soon as well.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Let's we can just finish up with this. But
Okay, sounds good.
yeah, thanks, Matt. We'll see you.
See you in a bit.
Bye,
See
Matt.
ya. Bye, Matt.
I just wanted to show you one interesting game real quick. But yeah, so queen e8, and then white has a lot of moves. You can play bishop d1 here, you can play h4, you can start with f3. I guess one key idea is like if white plays h4, then yeah, black is just in time to play knight h5. And here you actually have this extra idea of knight g3, which is quite I think quite annoying for white, followed by f5, or taking on
Yeah.
e2, like taking on e2 possibly, but f5 would be the main plan again.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think I would play. Just trying to figure out what I would play here because I can't find something.
Let's see. You can also go knight f3. So this would be a bit different approach.
Yeah.
But then knight c5, you'd go queen c2, and then the idea would be to kind of switch with knight d2 and then castle kingside, and then play for b4 and play on the queen side.
Yeah, this more looks more like classical, like.
Yeah, like a5, yeah, knight d2, and then
Yeah.
And now, okay, this is a position where we don't have knight g4 really, because I think we just get kicked. Knight h5 is maybe possible, but also risky. And if knight d7, that would run into knight b5, which we would want to avoid. So this is a position where I think like either h6, knight h7, exactly, or king h8, knight g8 come into play. Because we just don't have other options. But feels like
Makes
we have
sense.
time, because white also played queen d2, queen c2, like spending an extra tempo there. But yeah, you can play like this, for example.
Is this ever valid?
f4 actually is quite risky for white because it gives black a lot of dark squares.
Okay.
So generally, black would want to take. And
I'm gonna run to the bathroom, but
maybe
I'll
follow
be...
up with f5. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
So with
And if
f4,
here there's this.
yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Or h6.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I never know what my plans are when I castle kingside like this. It's just kind of like hold the space and play on the queen side.
So here your plan is mostly queenside. Yeah, with the king on g1, it's like you got to play for a3, b4, and then the only question is how to execute it, because like you want to make sure you don't allow this exactly. And like bishop
So is
e3,
it
bishop d7. So here you'd probably want to start with b3. Yeah.
b3, a3, b4? Okay. Yeah.
And then a3, b4. Maybe rook b1, and so on.
Mhm.
If f5, probably f3. And your
Rachel
bishop,
would play this.
yeah, very important. Your bishop can still get out.
Okay.
Now this would be bishop h4 here would be very important, because if not, what can black do? Black would be able to play bishop f6 and force a trade, which usually in black's favor to trade off these bishops, because it's such a bad bishop for black, and for you it's a really, really helpful bishop. So very important to, yeah, keep the bishop on the board.
So like at this point, this bishop is so bad, and this knight is like black's only active piece, but black is planning on playing on the king side. So like, does it make any sense to take here?
No, I don't think this is a position where you would want to take on c5, because
Okay.
essentially you're unless you have some way to break through, but you would make it really hard to break through because of the dark squares. And this is also a case where if black wants to, they could go b6, because since white is castled kingside, this isn't really a position where we want to play c6 ever, as that would only help white's queenside play. So this is definitely a case where you could go b6. And then exactly, white should follow up a3, and yeah, this is the King's Indian, proper.
Yeah.
Through and through. And yeah, these positions are of course super complicated. Okay, I just wanted to show maybe one brief excerpt that I thought was, I think everyone should know.
Okay.
So this is a game where white started with h4 instead of queen d2, which is also playable. I'm sure has its nuances. Black played e5, d5, and went h6, bishop e3, and knight c5. Hitting this one. And then again, the idea is like if f3, then black gets knight h5. So black is trying to kind of provoke f3 so that they can get knight h5 and then can start jumping, and this would be nice for black. So white played queen c2. Here black goes c6, h5. And this was played by Grandmaster Ilya Smirin, who is a very, very strong King's Indian player. One of my absolute favorite players of all time, because he just incredibly creative and had many, many brilliant King's Indian games. And this was one of them. I really liked the concept he comes up with. So here he goes queen a5. So just ignoring hg, because he's threatening the e pawn, which is going to give him much more counterplay. Like white can take here, and then maybe he even takes back, but I think he can also, yeah, strongly consider just taking here and just playing for development, because white isn't really developed enough to checkmate black. So white played f3. Oops. Or sorry, takes first. No, excuse me. Played bishop d2. Black goes bishop d7. Now takes f3. Because if he'd taken on h6, then e4 is hanging again. He goes f3. And now just rook a c8. So at a certain point, you would expect black to defend the h6 pawn, but he doesn't. He just like leaves. So that's how much the dark squared bishop trade is worth here for black. He's willing to give up the h pawn to trade off the bishop. So he's like very, very happy to actually enter in this position as black, because after king g7, he's now going to get counterplay on the h file with the rook h8. He's going to get knight h5, and all of black's pieces are essentially just going to start taking over.
Can you play queen c1 at one point?
Yeah. Let's say.
Pair it?
Oh, like here?
Like before you do the trade, like.
Queen c1. Mm-hmm.
or something.
Um,
And you come to g5 at the end, or even like
yeah, this
I
would
don't
force
know.
black to do something different because definitely we wouldn't want to allow the queen to h6. That's for sure. Good question. Maybe I would start with this one. And then the idea is if you take, I want to go knight f4 to keep the queen out.
Okay.
Okay, there's also knight d3 check is a threat, but the main thing is, yeah, we just want to keep white's queen from being active.
Okay.
So this, I
Interesting.
would think, yeah, I think black is doing all right here. Let's say, I don't know, queen, king f1 or something. We would get a pretty similar situation to the game where black plays rook h8 and kind of takes over on the h file. So in the game, white didn't take right away. You went rook b1, threatening b4. Black dropped back. Now he takes on h6. Takes, king g7, rook h1, knight h5. And yeah, black just had all the compensation in the world here. So I'll just show a couple more moves. Queen d2, rook h8. And now white, yeah, just can't really find the good square for the king. Anywhere the king goes, black will always have good counterplay. And so in the long term, black just has like very, very long-term compensation. This is basically it. It's just very difficult to play white's position. He tried bishop f1, I think, to develop the knight this way. Black went queen b6, knight g2, knight f4. Okay, nice little tactic here. Rook takes h8. He gets knight check. Forces the king to move. And even here with the simplified material, white's just has a very hard time holding this position. And then, yeah, rook c1, bishop h3. So white's king finally reaches some safety, but now black is essentially breaking through on the king side. And then he went on to win this endgame. So I just want to show this one just because I think it's very important that, like, yeah, a lot of times you're just willing to give up this h pawn. If you can trade the dark sword bishops, if you can trade the bishops without giving a pawn, even better. But yeah, this is kind of a nice, let's say, concept to keep in mind. Okay, that's my one game for the Averbach that's worth knowing. There are others, I'm sure. At least from black's point of view. There's some from white's point of view as well.
This is this. So I queen d2 first is probably.
Oh wait, Rachel, you're muted, I think.
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No, I was just saying, like, both the King's Indian and the Grunfeld seem so complex that it feels like you have to just pick one to, like, maybe I shouldn't even bother learning the Grunfeld and just, like, get deeper in the King's Indian.
Yes, they are quite complicated. I would say it's kind of hard to learn both.
Yeah.
What many players do is they learn one until they feel comfortable, and then they add a second option once you feel like really solid with one, which I think makes sense because then you can pick and choose. Or you can choose a second option that's like less chaotic. Let's say you want to have like a sharp option, and then maybe you want to have a solid option.
Right.
That you want to play. Me, I don't want to play any other. I just want to play the King's Indian every game. So I don't really. I just don't have a second choice.
Well, I need to look at some of your King's Indian games because
take a look at the course. Actually, I think there's lines in there, but there's also model games that I think will be really helpful that are annotated, and then the puzzles I think would be super helpful.
Yeah, I know. I'm definitely gonna do those before the tournament
as well. And then okay, I might have some games uploaded myself. If you look at my profile, you might find some, but I don't know if they're gonna be high quality. I'll be honest, every once in a while, sure. But it's a tough opening. It's fun though.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
It is fun. Yeah.
And from White's point of view, okay, it's hard to work on an opening from both sides, but from White's point of view, I think Averbach again actually is quite a nice choice because it's not the most common these days. So I don't think your opponents are going to be well prepared for it at all, which is nice. And so yeah, just having this experience. Eventually, you can switch around. So you know, with your Averbach experience, you can also play like the H3 King's Indian, which is similar because there you also kind of castle queenside. So at some point you can deviate with white as well if you feel like you're sick of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love the Averbach. I have 100% win rate over the board with the Averbach.
Oh, bravo. Okay, then yeah, there's no.
I've only played 2 games, but
no reason to. No reason to
I
change.
haven't played a lot of chess.
Nice. No, I think it is. I think it is a very, very decent choice. So that's good.
Yep.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, I think that's probably good for today.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kostya.
Yeah.
This is super
thanks,
helpful.
Kostya.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this again at some point before the tournament as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pumped for you guys. It's gonna be super fun.
Yay.
But yeah, I think probably gonna be it. I gotta like pack next 2 days and
Yeah.
get ready.
I haven't even thought about packing.
Same.
We have to, Instagram outfits.
Oh
That's
god.
what I'm thinking about.
Oh god. No. I'll do Matt's reel. Everyone else can No. The tournament starts, or I guess we don't have the shared chat anymore, but someone in my chat was asking, or Take 3 times in my chat was asking when the tournament starts. So it starts on the 22nd, but there's a boat cruise blitz cruise on a boat the night before, where we're all gonna get drunk the night before the tournament. But it's fine.
I'm abstaining from alcohol until the tournament is over. That's one of my things.
I'm gonna take it. I'll take it easy probably. First round is 7 p.m. But I mean, you know, yeah. Last night is always
Beer
super
too
fun.
won't hurt, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
But it is 1 round per day, which is great. So
Yeah,
that's very nice.
super chill. Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, folks, I think it's gonna
Thank
do it
you.
for the stream.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Who should
everyone.
we
Watching,
Raid?
supporting.
Let's find someone to raid.
Key Whiskey's on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's raid her.
Okay. Cool. Hey.
Cool. Sounds good. Oh, we don't follow her. All right, we'll follow her. Oh,
Awesome.
Shoshi loves tempo. Thank you for the raid. I didn't see. Or is that even? I don't even know if that's our raid. That was probably someone else.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm gonna send my people over.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye, chat.
Bye,
Oh,
everyone.
that's our raid. Oh, thank you. All right, bye everyone. See you guys.